Well, I'm so close to finishing this website. Um, and maybe I'm not too clear on what this means to me. Um, I'm trying to find a way to fit back within society and be productive and accountable for my own actions. And being on this welfare system is not something that I agree with. I think it's just as harmful as being the greedy and rich. The form of any type of welfare is a sign that there's something wrong within our systems. And you are either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. So just because I am not the creator of this system, I'm just the player of the game, I have to choose whether, what it is I want to do. And to go from the receiver of a system that's wrong to the one that's the wealthy, who I think has more control over changing systems, um, that is such a dangerous leap, um, for me, because it is like the Tony Robbins who transformed his poverty into his great wealth. And how did he do it? By manipulating everybody to have his belief systems, which he did nothing but study an awful lot of science of how we behave, and talks about morals but had zero morals of his own. And basically he programmed a lot of people that if you want to be real successful, um, brainwash other people. It was basically, find the weaknesses in others and take advantage of it for your own personal wealth. Um, and you can see that game play out with anybody that's earning a profit right now. Anybody that's living, I've used that scenario of 10 pennies. If there were only 10 people in the world and each one of them were equal and had 1 penny each, over 100 years or 1,000 years or whatever, if only one person owned all 10, who's responsible for the global poverty? Because 9 people, the majority of the population, have no pennies. They are not eating, but the king has all of the money. So is there a little bit of insanity there with the king? And what kind of insanity is there that somebody would freely give up their penny? So there's two sides of this coin that are both wrong, and I don't want to just flip the coin and be on the other side because it's the other side that created the poverty that I live in. I wouldn't want to do this to any other human being. So it is, now that I'm in the final stage of this website, it is just making that connection with PayPal, which I disagree with, but it is use the system to change the system. So I have to use it. And then it's a matter of, um, what am I going to do? If I am financially successful, which that's the goal, what do I do with the money? I need clothes, but yet there's nothing but franchises out there to buy clothes with, things that I would totally disagree with. Um, Buy a car, I could really use some transportation, but it uses gas, so I know that if I buy a car, I'm going to feel all of those kids and families that are being tortured for that oil so I can drive my car. It doesn't feel too good. Um, so a lot of those things are in the back of my mind is, okay, now I have a little bit more money, but, what do I do with it? And I'm just putting myself in the position of I'm successful, because that's the only way you can get successful. From point A poverty to point B success. I mean, you have to see what that end result is. It's like a business plan. You got to know what is it going to be like when you are there, so you know exactly what the requirements are to get there. Um, so I'm just trying to formulate that plan of, okay, what happens when I'm doing good with this website? And one thing that I noticed that I really, really suck at is people have a judgment about me. And because I am on this welfare system, the way people perceive me is to be stupid and lazy, and a host of mental illnesses could be attached to it. Troublemaker because I see a lot of things wrong. There's a host of things that people will label me with, and yeah, I find it offensive. I find it hurtful, mean. It gets me into that depressed state, and it tends to grab my focus, and then voila, I turn into what society wants me to be. And I got to be stronger than that. There are some people that just sit there and, you call them stupid, stupid, then they'll turn into stupid. And somebody else will say, call me stupid, I'll prove it that you're wrong. And I'm one of those people that I would prefer to prove you wrong about something. I guess it's a competitive edge that I have. But the believing in myself is how do you get successful without falling into the same trappings, the same temptations? Believing in myself to know how I can function in this totally corrupt systems, and know that I'll be doing the right thing when everything that you walk into is wrong. So to me, it's very, very scary. But you got to put yourself in that position that you're going to know what you're doing. What else you got to do? Be part of the problem, or just jump into the solution. So, while observing that people can have judgments on me, and I can turn into it because I'm hypersensitive, I can watch and observe myself turn into the judgments that other people have. I've got to be stronger than that. What I notice is that I'm doing the same thing to other people. Is what I focus on in others motivates their reactions, their focus. And I'm pretty sure that while I'm focused on a lot of things that are wrong, I'm not really focusing too much on all the things that are right. And I know I really suck at that. But that's hopefully sort of this new change with this website, that it will be focused, because it's ADHD. It's like you're friggin' geniuses when you're categorized in to be autistic or to be Asperger's, or even Alzheimer's. Geniuses that don't know they're geniuses yet. So I think that I might excel a lot better in that website. And that's pretty much what that website is all about, is something that I can play in and enjoy myself a lot more. This channel was all about me learning how to communicate so that I could believe in myself a lot more. Now this new website is going to be hopefully me jumping into a well-focused subject that I can see the positive aspects within an individual, and how you can excel and fit within these systems, but what it takes to transform these systems. And it's not so much I know the answers to all of this shit. It's like these people do because they're geniuses. It's a matter of learning how to communicate with them, and communicating with me, and communicating with everybody else. When we know, because that's part of the biggest problems with that group, is communication. Um, sending and receiving information is not that easy, but there are ways to be able to do it, which is one thing that I had to learn with my communication skills. So while I'm looking at, I think I can have a lot of fun with this site. I think it can take me into a completely new direction. I think I've designed it pretty well on one that I think most people that are going to need this information need it free. At the same time, I need to give myself some value for the amount of research, and just gaining all of that knowledge should be worth something like a book or something. There should be some way that I value myself as I go out, and try and be productive in the world. But at the same time, it's designed in a way that those that can afford this information have the obligation to share it with those that don't have the information. Because all it is YouTube. It's unpublished links that just need to be shared within our own networks, and it's your obligation to find people that are can't afford this information but need this information. That is sort of what we really need to do, is have community helping community out, have the rich support the poor, build them up, instead of taking advantage of them by keeping them down. So you fail if you even follow any of this advice and fail to pass the links on, then you're failing to influence your society. So I think it's done in a way that everybody would be able to get access to this information, whether you can afford it or not. So I don't think that I'm going into this economic system passing out information just to the rich, giving the poor an unfair advantage. It is a matter of making the rich, or the ones that can afford to pay for information, to know that they're only successful at taking advantage of. This is part of the lesson. So they can't do that. That has to be changed around. So then I'm looking at, okay, I've offered this website to be in partnership with other people, but to help build it, because I don't think I could do it all, but I'm forced to. And part of the problem, as soon as a challenge comes up, like today is going to be PayPal, it feels really big. It feels like, oh my God, it's attached to the outcome of being successful. It's attached to a lot of subconscious beliefs that make me more fearful. That fear, that negative state of being, will affect whether I can get that code working or not. But if I just go into it with a magical, this will work. I don't know how. I can make a phone call. I can do a million things, but this is not as hard as I think it is. And just have fun with it and play. If I put myself into more of a magical, where that I'm not attached to any outcome, just this is going to be easy, and I look for the easiness of it, all the time, my code always works. I always will be led down a path to knowing exactly how to figure out how to make anything work, as long as I calm myself down, look at these underlying attachments to the outcome of what it is I'm trying to work on. So, to boil it all down, I'm trying to think of what it is I'd like to do, because I need so much. I need a place to live, and I need to look after my food. So I'm really thinking of buying a ranch, because I really need to grow my own food. But I live in an area where there's fruit grower, lots and lots of fruit, where people, mostly kids that are in their 20s, that have been tortured in their lives, who feel that they have zero value, come and pick all the fruit in this area. So I'm thinking maybe this ranch I will put together a place for them to stay, a place for them to learn about their wealth, a place that I can maybe even set up some media in, because I love producing. So maybe having kids in this area do like a master chef, so they're cooking for all of these people free. The farmers have to donate food to them because this is where they sleep at night. I think I could do something pretty good with this. Peace out.